Chapter 7, Episode 3, Beginning of Medical Cooperation. The regular exams at St. Fleuve Medical College, which looked like a festive riot, somehow ended. A total of 5 students at the School of Medicine, the School of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and the School of Clinical Laboratory failed the required credits and almost failed the course. But after a faculty meeting, it was decided that remedial measures would be taken, such as reporting and retesting. Falma and Ellen counted students' grades in the professor's office. Falma sacrificed his days off to read the students' post-exam reports, and his fatigue had just peaked. Ellen was so tired that she literally threw her body on the sofa, exposing her bare feet up to her thighs. Since it would be rearranged defenselessly, it would be a nuisance or a treat for Falma. Since Falma-kun threatened me so many times before the exam, all the members of the Faculty of Comprehensive Medicine passed without incident. I'm glad I said it curtly to stir up a sense of crises. It turned out exactly as expected. It's a miracle that Natalie Blondel passed all the exam subjects too, isn't it? Did Emmerich-kun say something that inspired you? Emmerich and Josephine probably had their cooperation and opinions, and I think he did a good job, and in this state, we need to do something as soon as possible. But there aren't many drugs that can be used for brain tumors, he said. Ellen jumped up and leaned forward while saying, I'm curious. It's okay to relax, but Falma thinks I want you to put another breast button on your blouse. We'll check it out. Falma averted his eyes from Ellen and looked at the materials he had collected on his PC and device. The severity of the treatment could be described as hopeless, and even if Falma exhausted all the cheat skills he possessed, there was no final method in sight. Ellen pouted, but she had an idea. Come to think of it, why don't you rely on surgery? Even though we're at the same university. Surgery, Emmerich said that too, but that doesn't come into the options. Falma ponders Ellen's suggestion, but decides it can't be accepted. Did you call? I didn't call you. Emmerich, who seemed to have hell ears, came running out of the nearest lab, but nodded and looked back. I can't afford brain surgery. Why do you think that? Chief Chamberlain's group, there must be some cases of brain surgery. It's true that surgical resection is the best option if you follow standard treatment. And I have a vague desire to do that, but that would only be possible with modern medical standards and full support. It's not that I don't trust imperial doctors. Recently, surgical instruments have been improved. Drug choices have increased. Anesthesia techniques and pre- and post-operative management have improved. And clinical examination support has been strengthened by the clinical laboratory department. Surgical outcomes have improved. And many Nova students from Root Medical College have come to study abroad. In the past, it was a gamble to cut and suture patients seemingly protected by a patron deity based on medical divination. But he listened to Falma's opinion and emphasized preoperative diagnosis in collaboration with the clinical laboratory department. The condition was evaluated. The patient's suitability for surgery was carefully determined, a perioperative management plan was prepared, and the work was divided into treating the patient. This was remarkable progress. Falma was completely out of his field, but he was able to study the surgical procedures performed on the modern Earth and was able to provide and disclose information to them. Incidentally, by manipulating the divine lineage of the divine art path that connects temples around the world from the Great Temple, the Wi-Fi generated only in the Great Temple was able to use the router I brought from the laboratory by to St. Fleuve. I also managed to fly around the Guardian Temple. See, I do not have to go to the Holy Land to gather information, which is a relief. Due to the lack of electrical systems and equipment, there are cases where it is not possible to use the techniques of modern Earth as they are. But to make up for the impossible parts, a group of specialized researchers conduct daily research and development based on animal testing. Even in such a situation, there are concerns about entrusting brain surgery. This is because the line between a normal brain and a tumor is difficult to draw, requires a high degree of skill, and the success or failure of tumor removal and subsequent progress depends largely on the experience and knowledge of the brain surgeon. Even if you do nothing, your life is in danger, right? Can't you combine that with divine arts? I have already tried to combine it with divine arts and the skills I have. It would be more realistic to try to prolong life by combining cheat skills and drug treatment. But no matter what treatment was combined, there was no way to completely cure it, which was the result of Blondel's advice through his investigation. Then what about the elixir? The elixir and divine medicine I can make now have a strong aspect of expelling evil spirits, and there was nothing that could cure brain tumors. However, Falma remembered that it was Ellen's suggestion. No, I didn't think of combining the rebirth elixir with the current elixir and surgery. What is that? Rebirth divine medicine is a divine medicine that doesn't die for a day no matter what, and current divine medicine is a divine medicine that can sustain a dying person's life for a few days. Yes. There is something monstrous. Ellen is mad. By the way, even after Ellen doesn't need her glasses anymore, she accidentally pretends to lift them. Even now I acted with my air glasses. Sure, if you drink it you can avoid dying immediately after the operation. Why don't you drink it continuously? It seems to be ineffective, once or twice at most. Even though you cannot drink it continuously, the effect of the divine medicine is enormous. When Falma mastered the preparation of this divine medicine, he honestly could not find a place to use it. Although it has a temporary life-prolonging effect, it has no therapeutic effect. However, this divine medicine is perfect when it is used not to treat illness but as an aid to post-operative care. When I use this, I wonder if I can do standard treatment after thoroughly removing the tumor. Suddenly, Falma stood up. Ellen tilted her head because Falma's gaze wandered and looked out the window. Did you think of something? Maybe I can use God medicine. God medicine. Falma-kun, what will you pay this time? Falma keeps Ellen's concern in the back of her mind but doesn't pull back. Thank you for worrying about me. Everyone will be worried about you, Falma-kun, who is bald. In that case, I'll borrow Blanche's wig that my brother used. You don't have to do it. I don't have another agent. Humans can synthesize elixir, but only guardian deities can synthesize divine medicine. The guardian deity always descends one by one, and several guardian deities do not descend at the same time. From the scriptures, you can read that there is no one other than Falma, whom the medicine deity has descended. There is no substitute for Falma, so I already know deep down that I have no choice but to do it myself. Still, Ellen can't seem to stand it and is looking for an alternative. Is there still sacred medicine from the past tutelary deities? I don't think so. Since divine medicines seem to decompose as soon as they are made, the basis is to prepare them at the time of use. We have no choice but to fumble around and prove their effectiveness. He immediately confronted Blondel in the next lecture. We measure the success or failure of a treatment method that combines tumor removal surgery and Shinyaku by examination. However, the results of the eye examination were poor, with a redder glow than when other drugs were used. Even if you can temporarily prolong your life, you will eventually die. The result disappointed Falma. What do you think? Can anyone do this? Or is that a prediction if I do? At this point Blondel had not yet been notified. But to present her to Claude for surgery, she would have to be told what disease he suspected and why the examination was necessary. Until now, Falma was so afraid of discovering his true identity that he sufficiently explained treatment methods and treatment plans to patients when it came to treatment, using his unique cheating ability and leaving aside treatment with drugs. In this other world, there was divine art, and because treatment was carried out with divine art, it was common to provide medical information not in a paternalistic context, but henceforth team medical care that does not rely on divine arts and respect the patient's right to self-determination. Information such as the need for treatment methods, expected results and risks, comparison with other methods, etc. believes that it should be available to both patients and healthcare providers, especially when providing invasive and challenging medical care such as this time. We must strive to provide adequate explanations and obtain the understanding and cooperation of the recipients of medical care. Let us notify and explain to her once the surgical and treatment plan is determined. With this in mind, Falma made an appointment and visited the laboratory of Claude, Chief Medical Officer and Medical Director of the Saint Emperor of the Saint Fleuve Empire. What's going on all of a sudden? I'm sorry to keep you busy. As I said before, I would like to enlist your help as a surgeon. Falma briefly explained the circumstances based on the materials. Claude muttered and replied with a serious face. I have 2 questions. First, how did you find out you had a brain tumor? You usually find that out during an autopsy. I used my magic. I don't think it's a good idea to get people to trust me, and it's a good story for bugs, but in this world, it works. Second, is it not okay to wield the sword? It was useless. It didn't work. Is that your divine art? Yes. May I see your hand? It doesn't matter. Claude extended his hand to Falma while looking at him skeptically. Falma activates the eye examination through the ring on Claude's finger, identifies Blondel through this gap, who is in the next building, sees through the brain from a distance and plans a cure. Can you finally show me your unique divine arts? I've been wondering for some time, but isn't this movement some kind of divine art diagnosis or divination? Maybe so. By the way, why are you looking beyond the wall? I can see her brain through the wall. This guy surprised me. It's outrageous. Claude has the divine protection of the god of medicine, who is considered the greatest in the realm. This divine protection was unmistakably real, and most of the light illuminating Blondel's brain disappeared when Falma's hands could not perform surgery but pierced Claude's fingers. Falma took a short breath and asked for a combined examination of Claude's surgery, standard treatment for glioblastoma, and complementary treatment with divine medicine. As a result, the light disappeared completely, meaning a complete cure was predicted. I can walk. What do you know now? Could you please operate on her brain tumor? The doctor seems to have a good chance of success. I was surprised. Can you make a diagnosis combined with visions of the future? Is that what you mean? Falma honestly expressed his respect for Claude, but he was praised with excitement. If you break down the ability to examine eyes, this can certainly be a kind of future vision, as Claude said. If it is a future vision, then it is common to Claris abilities, and Falma's unique ability is nothing, and even Falma's cheat ability of material creation and deletion is the same as that of a general user of divine arts. It seems to be an enhanced version of. If Claude agrees, then let's assume this place is okay for now. It is a divine art that is now lost, but in the past there were doctors and pharmacists who could use diagnostic techniques that used visions of the future. If it is something that can be done, please teach me. Falma didn't know how to explain how to activate the diagnostic eye, even though he was urged to do so. No, there's no incantation, no spell, nothing. Well, I see. That's for another time. I don't think so, but can you see the location and size of the tumor? To a certain extent. When Falma answered, Claude was speechless with his eyes wide open and mouth agape. Let's get back to the subject. You will be my eyes and I will remove the tumor, that's fine. Will you support me with your unique skills? As support for the operation. It seems we can use a god for tumor infiltration and blood vessel localization, as well as a divine medicine that has the effect of preventing death, no matter what, for several days. Claude could not believe his ears when he heard that it was a divine medicine. It's not a mistake of a miracle drug, it's a divine drug. That's right. I didn't know that such a thing as divine medicine actually existed. Is it possible to obtain a large amount of it? Honestly, 1 person is the limit. Right. Well, don't you dare ask about the procurement way, your father was the same, but it's about the de Medici family procuring any kind of medicine. There is nothing to be afraid of. Dr. Claude. I will be your partner in the medical care of the team from now on. So to avoid misunderstandings, I can help you diagnose the disease and prepare and provide various medicines, including divine medicines. The treatment is completely unknown, and there will be no deaths during the operation, but when the effect of divine medicine wears off, death is possible. Now, listen. It is the style of our medical faculty to have confidence in your own abilities and to work on your opponent, especially if the opponent is an OBL, because the effect of divine arts improves the survival rate. You should have a little more confidence. What Claude is saying is clearly just an extension of the placebo effect. However, medicine in this world is inextricably linked to the existence of a patron deity, and the mysteries of the divine arts and the treatment of nobles is heavily influenced by placebos. True, Falma realized. Let's finish the surgical procedure at the conference, he said. Let's call all the surgical faculty tomorrow. I'll get a fresh cadaver. Thank you. Falma and Claude teamed up to treat glioblastoma. The evil spirit has disappeared from the Imperial City. Lotte, who was working hard at the Divine Arts training ground in Melody's mansion, gushed over Melody during the tea party at the break. Even after returning to the Imperial capital, Lotte used her days off twice a week to be instructed and initiated by Melody in the flame arts and magic circles. It seems to be a habit. Since Lotte is not a user of divine arts, she borrows Melody's divine arts. It is a very simple method to write the flame magic circle with holy oil and ignite the magic flame created by the melody on it. Are you not satisfied with the training of divine arts without actual fighting? It would be better if there were no evil spirits. I understand how you feel, Melody said, laughing in her beautiful voice. Why, yes. But I have lost the way to confirm whether the flame magic I borrowed from Melody-sama is really effective against evil spirits. The divine arts Lotte was taught were effective against evil spirits. So if there were no evil spirits, there would be no way to evaluate their effectiveness. Continuing to train something without knowing its effect is like grasping the haze, and not being able to grasp the target in your standing position is an obstacle to training. That may be true, but His Holiness has ascended to the throne as High Priest and protects not only the Imperial City but also the Guardian Temples around the world, so there is no need to worry. Since Elizabeth I ascended the throne as Holy Empress, holding the office of High Priest and Emperor at the same time, the secrets of the Holy Land, which until then had been shrouded in mystery, gradually began to be revealed. Lotte and Melody thank Elizabeth's palace when they learn that the High Priest's divine arts developed a vast network of divine arts that connected the Guardian Temples in different places and supper. SSED. The appearance of evil spirits in different places offered a prayer of this defense, however, was an obstacle to Lotte's training. Will I encounter evil spirits if I venture beyond the protection of the temple? Don't be silly. If you encounter an evil spirit that you can't handle in the magic circle, you can't use magic. It's because of you. Is that so? When Melody rebukes Lotte, Lotte is knocked down. Melody took Lotte's hand and stroked the back of his hand. And maybe, according to wind rumors, we won't have to fight evil spirits at all. What's that? In addition to enthroning the High Priest, the temple found and supported the legitimate patron deity. Lotte's eyes widened as if she couldn't catch up with her understanding. Come to think of it, since it is the High Priest who serves the patron deity, His Holiness Elizabeth must not be unaware of it. What kind of person is the patron deity? Melody reassured Lotte, who was delusional with sparkling eyes. Because they are sacred beings, we have no chance of encountering them. After hearing that, Lotte's head was full of thoughts about the guardian gods who might have descended on this world. After leaving Melody's mansion, I went to the new Guardian Temple to gather information. Since the Guardian Temple of the Imperial City had been destroyed by evil spirits, the newly built temple inside the palace was open to the public as the new Guardian Temple, and the priests of the Holy Land were also there. However, the entrance to the new Guardian Temple of the Imperial City was tightly closed. When Lotte fidgeted at the temple door, she was chased away by the gatekeeper. The whole temple is off limits today. What do you want? I'd like to hear the priest. Do it tomorrow. Yes, sorry. The Guardian Temple is basically open all year round. No matter noble or commoner, you can enter the temple late at night or early in the morning. Is it under construction? While thinking that something was strange, he was about to give up for today and return to the Medici's house when he saw the light of a golden magical formation at Lotte's feet. Judging by the design, it must be light that passed through the ground and escaped onto the floor. The point of origin seems to be underground. What is that? Lotte not only learned about Melody's fire magic, but gradually she also learned about the other three attributes of magic. The pattern of the beautiful magic circle aroused Lotte's creative urge as a court painter. The magic circle seemed to be woven around the temple, but I had never seen or heard of a golden magic circle. What kind of attribute is that? I wonder if it's the magical formation of a priest, but temple magic should be white. Lotte's curiosity got the better of him, so he walked around the temple and quietly peered through the stained glass into the church. However, the cathedral in the depths of the temple has a structure that exquisitely blocks the line of sight, so you can literally peek inside with a hand mirror. The first floor is a secret cathedral that general worshippers cannot enter, and there is no entrance. However, the cathedral has an underground atrium structure, and you can see something like an altar below. I witnessed a youthful magician hovering above the inset magic circle, manipulating several layers of the golden magic belted ending from the magic circle, and constructing a divine art with a fine structure. Its body seemed translucent and ephemeral, as if it were made of stardust. Lotte was completely fascinated by the golden glow of the three-dimensional magic circle. I can't see his face clearly because I'm looking at him from above. But Lotte found a distinctive mark on his body. "What are you doing here?" A man in a priest's uniform found Lotte looking defenseless and rebuked him. Unfortunately for Lotte, he was dressed in casual clothes and had no apprentice badge. For this reason, he must have been mistaken for a suspicious person, also because he didn't know me. "Tell me the truth. What spies are you?" "I'm a court painter. I don't have a badge today, but if I can meet His Majesty, I can guarantee my status." What did the court painter spy? The priest silently pointed his staff at Lotte, who was puzzled, as if he was becoming increasingly suspicious. "It's a manifestation of intent to harm if you don't confess." Lotte gave up. "Someone was down there. Did you see it?" "I didn't see your face." "Huh," the priest sighed. "It's true that you didn't see his face." The priest gave me a curious look, but after confirming that Lotte had painting material, he didn't pursue it further. He must have thought that following the Holy Emperor's court painter would affect the Holy Emperor's mood. "Enough, let's go. Even if you only ask one thing." "What?" "Is it true that the patron deity has appeared? Is there such a rumor in the streets?" The priest frowned, as if I had been asked something that obviously should not have been asked. "It is a fact that the legitimate patron god has manifested himself in the Holy Land, and although he has not entered the realm, he has been announced in the Holy Land. Through the Great Temple, he shows his effect in temples all over the world." "Who was the one who set up the magical formation in the basement of this cathedral?" "None, forget it." "Thank you very much." "False." Lotte was about to fall to her knees but managed to stay strong and leave the place. I sat on the stone steps leading to the palace, and although I controlled my breathing, my palpitations did not subside. The boy from before was Falma. As his servant, I serve him every day, and even if I cannot see his face, it is unmistakable. And above all, both arms had the glow of the medicine god crest. Falma saw the scars that resembled the medicine god's crest, and the whole body were shiny and transparent. I didn't know. I wonder if his appearance to Lotte was a lie. To Lotte, Falma was the master he had served for many years, the court apothecary, the owner of another world pharmacy, and a university professor. That was all Lotte knew of her dear Falma. But just now I saw a side of Lotte I didn't know. "I am at home." Falma, who returned to the de Medici's household that evening, was the usual Falma. I was back in civilian clothes, my body was not transparent, and I was not wrapped in light. Not even floating. You can force yourself to believe that it was a mistake. Lotte answered in a trembling voice while taking off Falma's coat as usual. According to Falma's schedule, which I confirmed in the morning, he went to the palace today to visit the Holy Emperor. Welcome back. I'm not feeling well. What happened? Falma seemed to have noticed that Lotte was acting strangely. Lotte showed his dismissive intent to Falma, who was trying to look him in the face, and waved his hand slightly. Wow, I'm fine. I can sing. Is something strange? Are you having any problems? If you don't mind, I will consult with you. Wait a minute, I'll leave your luggage behind. I'll take care of your luggage. Falma's demeanor and gestures were the same as always. You are always nice. If something happened to me, you would notice it right away. Don't. Nothing happened. What happened? Falma smiled gently, as if she was worried about Lotte. Lotte, who felt absolutely isolated by that smile, could only return a worried smile. Then he expressed his feelings with pain. Something happened, didn't it? Lotte can no longer look directly at Falma and lowers his eyes. Falma put his left hand on Lotte's shoulder and turned his chin toward him with his right. Look there. The two stare at each other, trying to gauge their feelings for each other. I know what you want to hear. Let me tell you the truth. I didn't want to be hated, so I made it up to you and hurt you. Falma put on Lotte's coat, which he had just taken off, led Lotte out of the courtyard, and pulled the holy stick from his hip. Let's talk privately. Shut up so you don't bite your tongue. Falma grabbed Lotte's slender waist and flew off into the night sky all at once, avoiding the public eye. As the cityscape of the imperial capital receded into the distance, Falma, while holding Lotte, struck the night sky with the underside of his staff, and a shockwave ran through the air, instantly creating a transparent magic circle. Falma landed on top of the magic circle, and Lotte was called to land as well. It's like a flying carpet. Falma, Sama, this is a space-fixing magic circle. I see Lotte has been studying magic circles. I saw it for the first time. And it's floating in the sky. I learned it recently, too. The magic circle has a lot of depth. I can understand why Lotte is obsessed with it. I can't draw such a complicated formation in the blink of an eye. But what is the quality of this divine art? Well, it's a divine art without attributes that only I can use in this world. I won't fall down, so just sit down. Well, where do you want me to start? Oh, I have chocolate in my bag. Do you have it? Please give it to me. And then Falma sat shoulder to shoulder with Lotte on the magic circle and began to confide in Mayrain style. About the Falma boy dying from a lightning strike. About being a person from another world who possessed his body. About having the power of a medicine god. About being shadowless and creating and erasing matter. The Holy Land established Falma as a patron deity and accepted her treatment as a patron deity in the Holy Land due to political and imperial security considerations. But her self is that she is a human being. By attaining the position of a patron deity, she was able to decipher hidden treasures and valuable documents from various places, gain access to numerous divine arts, and fully utilize her power. However, there are still many diseases that cannot be cured by miracle cures and divine medicine, so we are striving to develop technology by combining pharmacy, science and divine arts. As part of this, he is now working hard to create divine medicine to look for ways to protect people from the attacks of evil spirits. When it's all over, I want to return to a quiet life. We talked quietly for about 30 minutes. Lotte listened in silence as she walked back. Thank you for teaching me so much. Lotte was confused and timidly spoke words of thanks. Falma seemed to be watching over Lotte, who had become a different relationship than before. I thought you had changed a little, but due to the effects of the lightning strike. It's a pity that I couldn't say goodbye to the previous Falma-sama properly. I also have memories of the previous Falma. Even when I call him, he doesn't come out, but I always feel his presence. Then I believe you are living together. I agree. Falma stretched refreshingly. The revelation of the secret must have calmed him. What were you doing earlier? While we were introducing the divine art formation, we obtained information about the operation and put it on the information terminal. Johoten Matsu. Oh no, I did some research. Thinking about it, I heard from the priest that Falma-sama's divine power is spreading all over the world. It is an exaggeration to say that the whole world is an exaggeration, he said. It is amazing, but it is a little too amazing and I am afraid. Falma, noticing that Lotte was stunned, began to apologize. Don't be scared, it's okay, even though I say I'm in control, I'm not the demon king who came to rule the world. I know that by looking at your footprints so far. You have dedicated yourself wholeheartedly to protecting the lives of people in this world and healing us. I'm glad to hear you feel that way. I understand why you named this pharmacy Different World Pharmacy. To you, this is a different world. Oh, that. Exactly. When I learned the truth, I fell in love with you even more. Falma gently kissed Lotte's hand as she took Lotte's hand while telling her thoughts with moist eyes. It is a meaningful kiss that can be understood as a proposal. Falma noticed Lotte's reaction and scratched her head as Lotte's ears turned bright red. Say hello to the future. I misunderstood. I love Lotte and I care about her. It's not a lie. But I am no longer human because I have entered the divine register. I can no longer be bound to anyone. It's not a misunderstanding, but I'm sorry. Lotte thought it was a slightly sinful way to say it, but he also thought it was his most sincere expression. That's right. I became a patron deity, but I'm sorry. Yeah, I would be happy if you would just treat me like Falma has been treating me. Yes. Lotte decided to continue calling it Falma. Falma and Lotte finished eating chocolate. Falma held Lotte, released the magic formation and slowly descended to the ground. I wonder if he did something. The slightly cloudy sky just cleared up and I could see a sky full of stars. Lotte landed like a feather in the garden and invited Falma with an innocent smile. Falma-sama, would you like something warm to drink? Good, let's add honey. The two then warmed up with hot milk tea. Lotte was sweeter than usual and felt a little bittersweet.